brief introduction about myself. I'm Bincy, and I'm one of the adjunct faculties over here for the learners. It's a great opportunity to come back to see the old students and the current students as well, and the prospective students. So you should say all future, past, and present at the moment. That's the way to introduce myself, it seems. Well, that's good to see Madhiha's face as well. Hari, I have old students coming up. I can't say old in that sense. I've taught you. That's the way I meant, not by the age-wise at any cost. Yeah, I will not mention anything like that at any point. We thought of starting a new way of doing with MBA. I hope that whoever has done with the module with me, I've always said, it's not just about the certificate that we're going to earn at the end of the day. It's also about learning new things, how you're going to apply it, how to do with the application. And that's what the entire aim is going to be. Yeah. Hi, Natraj. Hi, Pavan.
Hi, ma'am. Hi, good evening.
Yep. Pavan, you guys are halfway cut down in Kuwait, it seems, yeah?
Yeah, yes, actually.
It's a curfew.
It's been a difficult time, yeah.
Yeah. So we thought of coming up with a case study discussion today because we wanted to have more interaction among the MBA students, coming up with a topic which will be quite generic, whereby you will be applying various things that you've learned before. So it's not just about the 6 or 7 modules, 11 modules that you're doing. It's also about the generic things that you know, how you're going to apply it at workplace. So did you get a chance to go through the case study? Did you get a chance to go through it at least?
No. To be honest with you, I didn't.
Okay, that's fine. It's quite usual with students. We give them something to read, they will never do it because they always feel that's a faculty who have to read, go through it.
No, ma'am,
we got the topic actually. It's a paperless
that's right.
adoption of Abu Dhabi or something, but there is no description or anything.
Okay.
There's only a topic.
Okay.
Photo. It's only about the topic, what we're gonna do it today, and that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So even with the title as well, you might be knowing that it's about kind of sustainability. We are talking about carbon footprint, and we will be talking about the paperless environment. Have you ever heard the concept of having a paperless environment?
Yes, we are actually, Dr. Bincy, at office, we are actually practicing that because I'm dealing with DIVA. That's a major part of my job. Okay. So basically DIVA is very involved in carbon footprints. They are involved in the environment, sustainability bit. And I work very closely with the sustainability.
Can you record it?
So I'm very well aware of this particular topic, and there are many initiatives that that we have also introduced in our office in regards to sustainability.
Yeah, I think UAE has been one of the leading countries who have really been doing very well in GCC in regards to the paperless environment and thing. Just let me give you some brief information about that, not just about this case study as a whole. So as you know that since we are moving towards the period where we have so much of natural disasters coming up, we have issues about pollution. I don't know whether you remember 3 years back, there was a time in Beijing that they declared to have like curfew that we have nowadays because pandemic. In Beijing, they declared that for 2 weeks, all the schools, colleges and everything will be closed because of the pollution. Do you remember? And the last year when we had the complete lockdown all over the globe, especially all over the globe when we had the lockdown, you would have seen pictures of Himalaya showing very clear Himalayan mountains.
Yes, I have seen those.
Ganga. Yeah, dolphins in the river Ganga, which never happened in the last 15 years. People, and Japan is showing they are one of the volcano mountains. I can't pronounce the Japanese word though. The mountain for nearly after 25 kilometers visibly without any fog, literally. And what we have in Dubai as well, it's not a fog nowadays, it's smog. It's a combination of smoke and fog coming up. That's why we can't even see. And this is also creating allergic issues to kids. So we are talking about sustainability over here, which is kind of a growing topic all over the world. It's not just for developed countries. It's also about developing economies who are giving special interest towards sustainability. However, within sustainability as well, there are various branches that we have, which can be with fuel efficiency, You would have also heard about this one getting cut down, avoiding diesel cars, petrol cars, and getting only up to this one. That is about electric cars and electric motors going up. Ford coming up with the designs where specifically for Europe, where they have designed about having electric cars specifically designed over there, because European Union have stricter rules in regards to carbon emission. So that is about carbon emission. Then we have other sustainable paper glasses rather than paper, reusable glasses as well. Straws, have you seen, rather than plastic straws, they're trying to use the bamboo straws in many restaurants, especially in 5-star restaurants. Tissue paper was actually a concept which started with restaurants, which have also been replaced in many hotels by having paper tissues. Again, with paper tissue, not paper tissues, cloth tissues, rather than with the paper tissues that they have. So they have started to use various ways in regards to reducing any kind of environmental pollution. So it's not just with cars, automobiles, because that is one of the things that we discuss about sustainability. But today in this case study, we'll be mainly looking into the concept of paperless environment. Now, how many of you print on a daily basis? Work-wise, personal-wise? How many of you use printing? I do.
A lot.
I
do also.
Because I'm a paper person. When I'm reading, I really need to have paper in my hand to understand something and to get into my brain. Nowadays, we have ebooks, right? And people have started to use ebooks. There is something called
Kindle.
PDF speaker as well, which will read out to you, which you can also do that. Because but even with that one, I really need to see the words in front of me to get that understanding. For me, unfortunately.
To
Sorry?
put in archiving. To
Yes.
archiving.
Yeah. And I mark up, and I also even write down the notes beside to it to get a better understanding about it. So for me, oh, there you go. There you go. So for me as well, it's quite important that I print out things to get an understanding how it is, how well we can do it off. And so in this one, in Abu Dhabi, government has introduced a paperless environment mainly for the government offices. Same with the Dubai government as well, they have started. Other Emirates are also taking the same steps. As you know, most of the Emirates follow from Abu Dhabi or Dubai, then it's taken over to the other Emirates. This is the usual way that we do. So let's see, when you are in an office, what do you prefer? Do you try to have more papers, or do you prefer to have a paperless, and do you have to have a soft copy? What do you prefer? Or do you really agree that you need a paper?
I prefer to have a document also. I prefer to have a document copy also in case something happened to my laptop or to my my system. At least I have a copy, hard copy.
Love for that, Amir, and I really appreciate that's really true. I can give you a personal experience last day that I had. I went to the airport to drop off my child.
Doctor, I would like to share my experience also, because I'm working in the accounts department. So I have to provide every documents in the physical paper form to auditor. So these are limitations we have to consider.
Yeah. And I do think that that's the worst thing happening around the globe, though. And in GCC, I've seen it, especially for the accounts department, it's mandatory we need to sign it off. No electronic signatures.
That's because of the legal. That's because of the legal aspects of things, Dr. Binsi. Because when we are producing any papers to the legal firms, etc., in terms of accounts, then you need to have a certified signatories on the paper itself. They will not go by anything that is, visible mode, as in computer. The soft copy, etc. The other thing that we are doing now is each of us have these small little hard drives. Those are the ways where we basically, store the data instead of, printing papers. That's another bit of things that we do in our office. But as far as paperless is concerned, we're almost around 60% we are going paperless.
Paperless at the moment. Yeah. Anyone else who would really prefer to have a paper environment rather than a paperless environment?
Doctor, I have an opinion.
Yes, dear.
Now what we are discussing and what we are saying and what we see around us, it's totally, yes, it's a positive. But to apply it on all company, it will be much difficult, especially when we talk about SME business or middle class company. It will be much difficult in terms of cost. In terms, it's still a new idea. Still, people, they need a time to pick up. I'll give you an example. Now, electric cars or vehicles, it's entered GCC maybe past 8 or 9 years. But till this moment, just a simple example I give. Till this moment, you see just you can notice just the government who are using this vehicle plus the taxi or Uber's company. It doesn't implement it to the private sector yet. Why? Because of there is a huge differences in the cost. Maybe on a short term, yes, there is a huge payment, but maybe on a long term, yeah, it might be safe. So it's going to save some money, I'm sure about it. But still, personally, I create a truck, a reefer truck, which operates by cooling unit, and I made that cooling unit full by sun energy. It's like a solar idea, and same time I gave it to them what they inspected. They do every time was going perfectly, but still it doesn't success because of the cost.
I agree with it. It's the same thing with the forklift, because I remember recently in Jebel they came up with a rule saying that you should not have a diesel forklift, but rather you should use a petrol or an electric one to reduce the carbon footprint. But again, replacing a diesel one at this point is quite expensive. It's like 3 times more than the petrol forklift it is to have an electric forklift. So the cost is there. But again, we will come back to the main point over there. I do agree with what you have said, Noor, about that. I do agree.
Dr. Binsi?
Yes, dear Harry.
I'd like to make a point with regards to what Noor was mentioning about the SMEs.
Yeah.
So my company falls into an SME category. So it's not like a complete paperless environment, but what we have done is we try to reuse the paper, like one-sided papers. So what we do is, unless and until it's something as an official document, we always try to print on one-sided papers. And as soon as this one-sided paper is also used, like printed on and it's wasted, then we try to, print it into a shredder. So it's not like sent into the waste or something and then given to the recycling companies. That's what RSME does.
We used to do this trick even before using email. We used to do this trick while we are using a fax even. Even before email generation, we used to use this trick by fax even.
No, I was saying that's the least that an SME can do in the starting phase, like using the papers, and then it can go on to recycle papers and stuff. But there's a starting phase that an SME can look into.
When I say SME, for example, now instead of you are using your manual notebook, I'll assume that you have 8 employees. It will be a bit difficult to buy 8 tablets or 8 iPads for them, for example, which is it might be as additional cost for you. So it's not a matter of paper. It's about the storage, about the data, about the iCloud, about the Google. It's connected. It's like a kid. It's connected with each other.
Training people as well. You need to train people how to use it properly to make sure that it is all in a systematic manner. That's another thing. Yeah.
Actually, I want to add a small thing when we talk about electric cars and everything, because when you try to save in one way, but then what happens is that the other side you end up wasting more. Like for example, for the diesel petrol cars, you're trying to implement electric cars and everything. Now, for the electric cars to happen, you need batteries, and the batteries, the products that you need to create a battery, you need mining and every other thing. So again, you have to operate a factory. So you're just shifting from one area, polluting from one area to the other. That's the acquisition that's been going on for quite some time. But gradually, I think this will be a cost-effective thing.
Yeah, that's the term I wanted, gradually. So we will underline that term, gradually. Yeah. Sequentially, we could say gradually.
One more thing about the papers. I'll just say about the papers. What's happening is, if you receive any package from DHL, earlier it used to be in paper. We used to sign it off, and they would go and file it, scan it. All of those are gone. So I mean, there is a progress that's happening, and even in my company, when it comes to making payments to suppliers, receiving payments, earlier the parents would have to come to the school to collect the statements, to pay the fees. None of them is required now. They're doing through the application. They're receiving an e-statement, and that doesn't require any more printing. We've not bought any more receipts since then. It's been a while. We're using our X stock. I'm just trying to point out that that initiatives that like companies are taking, and they are able to come get over the paper thing. The other thing is about the audit or the finance thing. What our school is doing. I think the auditors, they are gradually accepting this fact that we have to go paperless, because they have to take part in the sustainability initiative. Otherwise, they themselves will be left out, and there will be different companies coming up. So what's happening is, ma'am, this new technology that is called blockchain, that helps with the identification of the person, and that is that person. I think it's just a matter of time in the future that the legality would not be an issue in terms of identification and whose signature it was.
I think pandemic has taught us a lot of things, right, Pamin, especially in the field of education.
Absolutely. There is no doubt. And it's been a very difficult time for us to explain and teach the parents how to use the applications and how to go step by step, call them, do a video call with them.
Yeah, one more thing I wanted to add, that due to COVID, there have been decrease in use of the paper because of touching and all that. Because seriously, when I go for payment of my kids, it's like we pay on a Skiply. They don't want us to come and use the paper and sign it up, and that's all. So that's why in office also they have reduced it because of the COVID, because you have to transfer the paper to someone else, they will touch it. That's why. This is one of all the reasons.
I want to raise a point here, ma'am, that when it comes to especially kindergarten, it's really difficult for us, but we still try to use to avoid using more paper. But when but we are doing that same, like as Mr. Pamin and Mr. Harish mentioned, that we are also using recycled papers. But when it's come to their early assessments and especially the assessments and their observations, when it comes on that point, we have to use the papers. And for the kids also, it's must for them to use the paper because they need to learn how to write. And for the writing process, obviously they use paper.
Yeah.
So we can't stop that, but because that's the basic, we have to make the basics of the kids. So at that point, we can't stop the paper. We have to use it.
It is a two-side point, to be honest. I do agree with that.
I think, I agree. But in the long-term basis, I think we'll come to a point where we never use paper anymore.
Yeah.
And even the kids in the school will be writing on tablets or, big size tablets.
Yeah, they are doing, but they are doing in higher grades. But initially, we have to make their grip strong. Like they have to able to write. They have to able to hold the thing. So for that, we have to push them to write.
Absolutely. I have my 2-year-old cousin who's able to use the phone and do everything on the phone. He's able to even write alphabets on the phone. But when you tell him to write on by hand, he's like, no, I want to write on the phone. I want to write on the phone. So I think it's just going there. But it's important also to do it physically. Absolutely.
When it comes to CBSE system and when we say it's Pakistan learning system, they're more towards on writing, and it's not like British curriculum and IB curriculum. So we have to make the child to write.
We are actually used to that. We are actually used to that. Somewhere I am reading the documents on the computer. I want the printout so I can highlight it.
That's why I'll just add one thing. It's very funny. I'll just add one thing. That's why we are known as the second or third world compared to them. They're always ahead in all these things.
Okay. But we also create the gems, right, Pamin?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
We also create the gems. That's another thing. We always create the gems. But one more thing is that when you're saying about the education side, and we can say that we can do on tablets and everything, kids do it. But kids with special abilities, unfortunately, having issues in studying and everything, who have issues in concentration, for those kids, it's so difficult. It's so difficult.
Those who have those who don't develop their fine motor skills, it's very difficult for them to hold even.
Yeah. I do agree, because we do have students even in the university who have issues like have concentration issues, who cannot see to the laptop for more than 15 minutes. They just black out. They think they just can't do it. And they would say that I cannot do it anymore. So they just leave the exam. How many students we had in that? So for some cases, we don't have an option for the last. So we are completing nearly 1 year of anniversary of having the lockdown, right? We just finished starting with the 23rd of March. And I teach accounting. And for us, it was always paper-based exam, always paper-based exam. From last year onwards, we started online. And I was thinking, oh, the life is so easy now because I just have to enter a thing on the system. It will automatically mark for me and I will get the grades in few seconds. Earlier on, I have to print it out, give it to the students, mark it manually, upload onto the system again. It was a tedious process for me. But as I told you, as I was saying to you before, this is not the same case when it's coming to students who have disabilities, unfortunately, who have vision issues, who have issues with special challenges and motor skill issues and everything with that. It creates issue for them, for sure, that we have. But let's see, when you're, yes, please.
And for different levels, we have to approach with different strategies. We can't use the same thing with all the levels of the game.
Yeah. True, I agree with that one. But let's see about this implement. But whatever it is, you have to come up with a sustainable options. Whatever it is, you have to come up with sustainable options because the resources that we're using, especially for creating papers as well, it is depleting. It is diminishing over the period of time. We don't have like n number of trees that we can use for the next 150 years to take it up because you need pulp, right? It is out of the trees that you're creating it. And of course, recycling things and everything and burning the papers at the end of the day, which can also have carbon emissions coming out, or water carbon oxide or carbon monoxide, whatever the chemical terms that you say, you have these issues coming up as well. But we are not looking into just up to that. We are looking on a long run basis, what the future is going to face. Wastages that we have, what these wastages. Now these papers, you guys were mentioning about signing hard copies that we have as well. You know that we have to pay money for certain agencies for keeping these record on a long run basis. Are you aware?
Yeah.
Especially the banks, I can say.
True.
Banks, especially the banks.
Yeah. Because
sorry,
there is some,
my dear?
Yeah, because there is some application, some software that must be buy. So that's why you have to pay that software to keep your document like safe and to keep like your document. That's why sometimes there is some companies who are specialized in that, who create that kind of software, like controlling document. It's called the control document. And you keep your document safe in their database. It's like their database. You keep it safe, and for that you have to pay, for sure.
The same thing we have for university where students write the exams. You know, if it's a hard copy one, we have to save it for the next 5 years. It's a university rule. We cannot keep it in the university. What in case if there is a fire? The entire university is on fire then. So we actually have a deposit center in Jabalali, I think. We pay them a fortune for saving all these papers. Don't you think it's a waste of paper now at that time? Now everything is this the other way around. But coming back to Nord's topic, it's quite expensive. Do you agree with that? Being paperless is also expensive. Do you agree with that, or do you disagree?
Yes, ma'am. In some cases.
Yes, because I have to keep the same information in the cloud or in some place. So this is costly as well.
Yeah, you have to buy the storage. You have to buy the storage to keep it.
You have to buy the storage. You have to pay for the training, don't you think so?
Yes, and also
of course.
Depending now in Dubai. By the way, sorry, I'm working in Dubai. We are working now with the paperless, but in the same time we are keeping a copy of papers. So we are paying double cost.
True. That's what I was saying as my personal experience when we went to the airport. They said that I gave everything as a soft copy. I said, these are the documents. Here go, yalla, yeah. I thought it's done because I wanted to have a paperless environment. I just want to take my small handbag. And they said, no, write it down. I said, write it down. Yeah, you have to write it down and you have to sign across it. I said, I don't have a paper. Oh, that's up to you. Oh, that's up to me. So I had to take, unfortunately, someone else's ticket and write on behind that and sign it off to them.
They actually ask for their reports and all that in hard copy, actually. The PCR reports and other things, the documents in hard copy they want.
Yeah, but now they've changed again, Dubai Airport, they have changed it into an e-copy version. So let's see, let's divide into two areas. Yes, Lisa.
It depends from country to country whether the country is going technologically up or not, and whether they are improving their technology site or no, and they're adopting all these new things.
Yeah. Going back to
it's a government initiative. It's
Yeah.
a government initiative, I can say. They are the one who drives the campaign, and we have to follow it up. So let's say, the Dubai government has launched some initiative earlier that they are going for a 2021 paperless. But due to the COVID scenarios, I think this plan has been postponed. I don't know till what time, but yeah, definitely the government is pushing. So once the government start pushing for this kind of initiative, so the people will start follow. So somebody has to take a positive step, let's say on a leader or the whatever the management inside in the company or organizations, and then it's gonna take it further. So 1 year before we were printing, like our quotation copy is somewhere around 100 pages, and then the presentation and then specifications. Still we do the submission of the specification into the like 500 pages of complete submittal folder, and it goes over there again and again. Each time we will just resubmit the specification for approval to the consultant. They will ask us again and again. We can't deny those things, but currently, they are a bit of afraid of this. They don't want to touch. Earlier also they don't want to see. Currently, they are asking us to send some soft copies on something like that. But still, I think in some areas, let's say in the construction industry, the paper is a must. Is the key for the drawings, because you can't give a foreman a tablet and then he can go and explain it to his guys. So there are some areas where essential paper is essential, and we have to use it. But I must say, one initiative the government has to take is they have to go towards the more recycling of the existing papers what we are wasting actually. So recycle is the key currently. Instead of paperless, if we will just focus more on the recycling part, that will help us to decrease the cutting new trees, and it will reduce the carbon footprint as well on the other side. That's my point.
Yeah. So let's see on to that one. So that I do agree that it is a cost implication is really high. But remember, sustainability is a concept which is a long run basis. You cannot get the cost back within a short time of 1 year or 2 years or 3 years. It might take 5 to 6 years time for that. So let's see on to the concept of paperless being today, going over there. Can you think about any negative sides and positive sides of being paperless?
I think so. Negative side is the manipulation. If we go for
manipulation, all right.
If we have all data cloud based, so it's easy for the finance management to manipulate it. It can be possible.
Plus, also it can be hacked as well.
There, right?
It can be hacked. No, but still it can be hacked.
Yeah, it's
so day before yesterday, I was reading an article about the LinkedIn. There 500 million users. Data has been breached over there. So there is a database breach can be happened on this. If we save sensitive data,
and also
we can't trust actually. The trust factor is not there.
Yeah. So
if we lost our system, cloud-based system, if we lost, we don't have backup in the paper form. So but this is also the backup.
You can do internal backup.
Otherwise,
sir, but then in this case, your internal storage can be the hacker can do anything, right? So it's about the hacking. So if as soon as it's going to be connected to a system, he can put a malware into your this hard drive or whatever, so he can steal the information. That is the basic funda.
I fully agree with you, but on the other hand, if you are going to be hacked, even your PC, your data, everything, if you are using cloud or not using cloud, you will be hacked. If we take them this way.
But if we have a hard
it's a negative sector.
He has to come personally and theft it, that thing.
Okay.
I do agree with
the blockchain. I do agree with the blockchain concept.
Yeah, and in the same time,
blockchain is a technology. Yes, peer-to-peer kind of decentralized kind of stuff. Yes, we totally agree with that. But again, to use on our daily life, it's gonna again take time because it's in a very initial stage. Still, it's not been approved by some of the governments as well. It's on a very initial stage.
And but
again, it's going to be a time-taking job.
Yeah.
Not all
Actually,
the
what's happening, ma'am,
able to
it's
access
going
the
parallelly
blockchain.
right now. Like what he's saying, the security issues. Of course, security protocols are there, but again, the companies will implement like antivirus or whatever that can prevent such things. So this is the reason we're in a stage that we are moving forward. So I think what's happening is that's why we're proceeding it parallelly, like having a hard copy and an electronic copy of it. And then until that security doesn't become an issue anymore, I think that's the time when we'll not have paper and we'll not need to use papers anymore.
I'd like to add one negative sector that many of people, they are going to lose their job, especially people who do like administration job.
Don't you think that that's even happening now, Noor?
Document control.
You're losing jobs.
That's good because they won't print anymore.
It's happening, but
one more thing which I would like to highlight. I might, forget to writing as well.
Your handwriting becomes more mess. That's the right way to say it. It becomes
after several years of passing your exams, you will obviously forget it.
Yeah, so we might need to write the name only on the tablet and PCs only.
What is the blockchain? What is the blockchain concept?
Thank you for that one, Amal. Thanks for asking. Anyone who would like to share about blockchain concept coming up with the paperless one? Because I heard a couple of you guys mention about blockchain. Anyone would like to share about that blockchain?
I think Pamin, you have shared it. No?
Yeah, sure. Why not? I think Hari is more definitive about it. Hari should go ahead with it. I'm more into investment side of it, so I will not.
Yes,
it will be a bad idea.
Please.
Basically, blockchain is a concept where you decentralize your data. Now, what happens is we are all storing our data in one place. You have your server room where you store all your data. Now, when we're going to this cloud-based concept of thing, we decentralize our data so that there are very less chances of it being hacked. Like even if one block of it gets hacked, all the other blocks are still safe.
Yeah.
They can work independently where the data is safe. So there's a very less amount of data where the data breach happens. And for all the blocks to be hacked, it takes a lot of time and computational power. By that time, we can already spot that there has been a data breach and we can control it. So that is why nowadays we are looking for blockchain and these cryptocurrencies concept of thing, where like we say gradually they'll be accepted like a normal currency and stuff. So blockchain is more of like a safety feature, which we will probably look into in the coming years.
Yeah.
For that, you
one more
have
thing
to
I
have
would like to
good
highlight.
IT person there, the one who knows everything and who knows where the problem is being arised.
Basically, just 1 second. Basically, the record cannot be modified.
Just a minute. Yes, Pamin. Let Pamin complete.
Basically, the record cannot be modified. For example, you have a property, and the property is into your blockchain. So you are the right owner for it, and nobody can take that property from you. So that's the idea for it. So you can always backtrack it. You can always, and when you transfer from yourself to another person, you're just going to transfer from your block to the other person's block. So by that way, you'll always have a history of record for it, and there would not be any possibility for someone to take it from you or hack it from you.
And that's known as traceability in blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. Because of the cryptography of the blockchain.
Yes, Amal.
So basically, is it the software or is it the block or is it how it is presented?
It's a software.
Can I explain to you?
Is it a software?
It's coding actually. Coding.
Yeah, it's a coding.
Like machine language. Programmable machine language.
Okay.
Basically,
so
taking into groups. It's basically a collection of information in groups.
Yeah.
That's what is blockchain. Yeah.
Okay. Every department is centralized.
Information from groups like that.
Yes.
But one more thing which I would like to highlight, let's say especially in terms of carbon footprints and energy consumption. So blockchain is going to be the one which is going to consume the more energy, and it has more footprints than the other stuff, because it is going to be run on electronically, and your PCs has to consume the power.
Yeah.
So that is another case as well on this side.
Yeah, actually,
I would like
anything
to add
new?
one point with that negative aspect of going paperless. So what happens is we store most of our things onto an internal network, and most of our files, folders are all internal network. And what happens is it's just that those particular departments have access to those particular folders. But once in a while, at least like once in a month, we see that some files are missing. they are being dragged onto different folders by mistake. So the amount of human error in this going paperless initiative, adding to like more of technological thing, is very much higher, because it's not noticed like on a daily basis. It's on, unless and until that you're looking for the particular document and you don't find it, then you need to go back and look at the entire thing.
Absolutely. The error issue is always there. Yeah.
Plus, a lot of sector is going to be disappear if they implemented on all over the world, or at least in the region where we live. Like a courier company, they are going to be disappear. Plus, more we have like a company who do a plastic, who manufacture this type of paper. So these people, they have to change totally their business.
The printing companies.
The printing companies as well. True.
Printing press, yes.
So there is. So
actually,
you have
even in the school, all the
yes, Pamela.
I'm sorry, I'll just add a quick one. Even in the school, all the administrative staffs would eventually lose their job because of blockchain. Because of the smart contract feature, because of the smart contract feature, they never need us to follow up anything, or even pay the suppliers, or even follow up the receivables from the customers.
Yeah. So what do you have mentioned for the negative one is manipulation?
What I think is the work will be increased on the typing centers and other areas, because they will be the one who is going to be, see, if you are losing the jobs in the one sector, there might be a chances that, on the other side, there is going to be some increase in numbers as well. So yeah, so let's say the typing center who will be assisting, the parents who can't use this technology or something like that. So definitely each thing has their own advantages and disadvantages. So we can't fully disagree with the stuff as well. So currently we are, you can say that, we are in a stage where, technology is enhancing, and hopefully in coming days, it's going to be what you call easy to use, and, easy for the human being as well, in terms of cost, sustainability, as well as functionality as well.
Yeah. So you have mentioned about manipulation, is that right? You guys all agree with that? That is the negative side of manipulation coming up. Yep. Another issue which has been proven by research as well is trust. Breaching the data, people using it, manipulating the data, people stealing information as well. That's another issue that we have when it's turned into paperless. Job lost, losing job, which is completely, I agree as well. But don't you think that when you are losing job, there is a job creation as well, because you have to train people, don't you? You have to train people at the end of the day.
Can I add one thing here?
Yes, of course.
Okay, now we can say that we are in Industry 4, which is a new era of the new technology, how it's combined together. And it had been expedited during the COVID lockdown, how more or less what we can say that everything had been touchless. So yes, you are right. It's coming up as a new technology, artificial intelligence, data analysis. Yes, a lot of jobs have been removed during the last year, but now we have a new era. You can see it even by advertised everywhere. They are looking for a data analyst, data engineering, even artificial intelligence, and all these stuff have been booming during the last even 6 months. And most of here in UAE, most of government side, now they are shifting toward what we call it central hub, to be like under artificial intelligence, and how they do the data analysis. Even they can having what we call it trillion of data, they can analyze it through and you can see it mainly, and it has been proven by 90% during the logistic and supply chain. Now most of everything running by computer. We just need somebody to input the data, take the shipment, put it, and after that, everything have been analyzed by computer, and even the load of the ship itself, where to put the container.
Yeah.
So it has been done by artificial. This is the scary of the new future, because there is some job, yes, it will be 100% eliminated, but there is still some job is still based on the experience. Like, for example, doctor. However, the machine can say yes or no, but the doctor has more experience to understand it. There is some job like a judgment system based on the experience, but there is, as everybody say, admin or lower job title, it will be for sure eliminated.
Repetitive task, basically.
To add one thing, Mohammed, for you, one of the projects I'm currently working, it's actually not the first phase, it's the third phase of it, is to reduce the human entry with the automation part. So for this, for the first phase, we 40 employees lost their jobs. Actually, with the rest, whoever can do or whoever can work with the automation, we kept them. The rest they cannot do, just data entry and other stuff. So we said we are sorry for this. The second phase the same. In the third one, yeah, we are using more paperless as well. A lot of things with automation. A lot of people also will lose their job. So if there is no one, I will not say in enhancing or is learning new skills or developing himself, he will lose his job in any career. Even the doctors, with the respect for Muhammad said, a lot of things now, the doctors, the surgeries now are being done by machines. So even the doctors, yes, even the doctors, if they do not find a way to develop themselves how to deal with this, also they will lose their jobs.
Yeah, true. I agree with
Doctor,
that.
I feel there is a hint. There is a big hint behind what my colleagues they are saying. You know, I feel just such a big company such as a Microsoft and Google, has been benefited by promoting their technology. But I don't know. It's maybe my personal opinion. They are trying to push on that, not because they want to save the green. It's totally as a commercial part. They are just trying to improve their business, adding new products, new technology, trying to control all over the business in terms of data, in terms of tools. But I don't know. It's a personal opinion again. I feel it's not about the green. It's about just to increase the business.
I'm gonna tell you something.
I'll just say a quick one. I'll just
the
say
green part is a
second.
marketing tool. You're correct. It's all about commercial, but it's just for marketing. They are saying green. 100% agree.
I'll just say some things which is sarcastically.
Yeah,
Sorry,
data
just
is power. Who owns the data? He have all the power, and from the simple data analysis, you can understand what is behind. Now they can understand the trend by forecasting even for 5 and 10 years ahead. So
but I cannot get the objective. Why people they want to save a paper? Why they are using more electricity? So why you want to reduce the paper and you're using bigger energy, or you need a more voltage?
Yeah, so
you need a bigger transformer
the energy
in that
part,
area.
No, the energy part, they're trying to also be sustainable in terms of energy. So I think they're trying to solve that problem as well. So if you're shifting to the other side, then you're making that other side also sustainable. So in the end, you're going to be saving from either way.
It's a two-sided coin, unfortunately, sustainability.
No, I'll just add one thing. If everyone's losing job, there's a new thing coming up that's called UBI, which is Universal Basic Income. So government is going to, sarcastically speaking, government's going to give us free money. So all we have to do is just sit back, relax, and consume.
Not
Which
here,
government?
sir.
Which government?
Not here. Not in Gulf, sir.
No, specify the government.
They're already giving free money. They're already in USA. They're already giving free money to the people.
Yeah,
No,
USA.
it's not about USA
Europe
or
is fine.
other country. It's about the third world countries. I'm asking.
Absolutely. So that's
who
why
is
we should
giving
be
money?
So the
prepared for
Gulf,
ourselves.
there is no way.
Yeah, exactly. Sarcastically speaking, but of course we have to prepare ourselves.
Do you want to say something, Kareem?
Yes, I want to talk about medical sector. Okay, as I'm a pharmacist, and now the pharmaceutical sector, especially not medical, but I want to talk about pharmaceutical. Now it's shifting for portals and for websites for e-invoicing and e-ordering. You know, now papers are very less in the pharmaceutical sector. Okay, and the problem we are facing, or the barrier for to be general idea, I think not all the parts of the pharmaceutical sector are using the online invoicing. You know, so some parts okay accept is e-invoicing, and another parts not accepting. And like customs, we are facing a lot of customs problems. You know, so I think I think a negative point for the online or paperless work okay, to be generalized for all aspects. Okay, so I think it's a very negative point in the online or paperless work for to be general, must be general. Okay, so this company is using okay invoicing, but I'm not accepting that. I have to take a paper bill or take a paper invoice. Okay, so I think we have to make it all of the parts of the pharmaceutical sector have to use it. Okay, and for another point for blockchain, nowadays they are using it. A lot of portals they are using blockchain in the pharmaceutical sector, but not generalized, but they are used now. Okay, and it's coming. I think in within 2 or 3 years it will be general in the pharmaceutical sector. There's no papers at all. But the moving in the pharmaceutical sector, it's moving very fast. Okay, but they are started in the last 6 months for a lot of portals for pharmaceutical manufacturer and for distributors and even pharmacists. Okay, now a lot of delivery system. Okay, for the medicines. Okay, I know a lot of pharmacies and the street pharmacy, not groups, not big groups. They are using now portals and online purchasing. So I think the papers are it would be very less next 1 or 2 years. But as I told you before, the negative point that it must be generalized.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yes, Abdul Rahman, tell me.
Yes, adding one more point for the pharmacy part. We have here in Dubai, hospital, Zuleika Hospital. If you went to the house, the pharmacy there, you will find there is electronic pharmacy, or we can say BI pharmacy. They are just writing it, and it comes from up all the medicine. No one go and collect it. Just those people are sitting in the counters. Soon they will disappear, and you will just put whatever medicine you need, or it will be electronically directly from the doctor. You will get your medicine, you will pay and leave. So even that part will be disappear soon.
Yes,
even the
yes.
same
Now,
thing with the
now
restaurants.
it's a machines. Yes, now it's a machine. Like touch machine, you can choose your medicine and you can pay. Okay, on the machine, and you will receive your medicine at the
Same
same
thing with the
time without.
restaurant.
Yeah, one of the system
There will not be
I
anyone
saw,
to serve
I
you.
think the latest system I saw it in the Saudi German hospital in Barsha, where I think the pharmacy is a kind of not fully automated, but it's a kind of a semi-automated. So there is a robot who's gonna pick up the prescriptions, and then the pharmacist is gonna give it to you. So,
yes, that's right.
I just want to share that my recent experience with RTA. Last week I had to renew my, register my new commercial vehicle. So everything was through the email. There was no printed at all. You go to the passing. Once your vehicle is passed, the report will come on an email, and take that printout and then send it to the insurance company, also through WhatsApp or email. And that guy, he does it and he sent it back, and everything is updated online. And within half an hour, you can go and get your Mulkia copy.
Yeah, even Mulkia is now paperless. So you have to pay additional money to get the Mulkia.
Yeah. So I mean, we will have to change as time changes, and then this is definitely good because it's going to save environment. And paperless is good. There are threats, but if you see 10 years back, internet was a threat, but today, we all are using it. So yeah, it's a good option to go for paperless online.
Being without internet, do we have any other option?
Yeah. So luckily we had this video conference 5 years back. Somebody came to sell. There is something called video conference. Get into this, you'll make a lot of money, shares and all. So that was a product to sell. So today, we're all getting this Zoom and all for free. Of course, for us it's free, but there are Zoom makes money. So through advertisement, other things. But yes, this is
those things are I can say those things exist earlier as well, prior to the COVID as well. But those things, got up suddenly. We feel that this is the right time to use, especially during the COVID. All these apps like Microsoft Teams and Zoom, So those things has been come up because earlier it was Skype software only for the businesses and others, like a video conferencing. But currently, we have drastically changed. So everybody is sitting in their homes, and trying to do this kind of
that's giving you carbon credits because you're staying home. You're not using a vehicle. You're not printing a paper for your meeting. You're not doing anything.
Yes.
So
yes.
there we go.
But,
paperless.
It's just your carbohydrates is increasing rather.
One more thing I just wanted to add is that it's all related to the electricity, availability of electricity. Recently, what happened in USA, there is no electricity. People are bound in their home. Heaters are not working. Their electric stoves are also not working. They don't have a food. But it's basically there is a negative impact also. If we have a cutoff of electricity, everything will be cut off. We don't have access to anything.
Yeah. Texas that had the issue, right? For nearly 2
years.
Recently,
yes. People are suffering. They are writing, we don't have a food. Actually, we can't cook and their heater is not working. We don't have a water also.
Yeah.
Actually, everything has its pros and cons.
Yeah. But finding a solution to reduce the pros, that's the main thing that we, the cons that we have, that's the main thing. And that's what we're looking for the paperless as well. When you say about the trust and everything, it's about proper control. That's one thing, proper control. There's a proper supervision coming up. If you agree on that one, proper supervision in regards to who's handling the data, who has the access to the data and everything with that one. Even with the electricity consumption, I do agree with that because even if you're using blockchain or computers things, there is an electricity consumption coming up. But of course, on the other end, you are reducing the amount that you're investing in buying more papers, pens, stationaries, and things, doing with, again, giving that in the recorded section to get it saved over there as well. So there is another way of looking at things from that perspective. Error, that was someone who mentioned about it. Error. Computer is something like that. Yeah, you enter garbage, you get out garbage. That's the main thing about a computer. You enter garbage and you only get out garbage. So error is something with the training. And when you say about blockchain technology, that something has been mentioned over a very long time, is about giving proper training. Not just the initial training, but also an update about training. Don't you think that is also important?
There's also validation involved here. So if certain things that you can't enter, certain things you can enter. So they will program it in such a way, and that's happening actually, that it will only accept what it's required and it will not accept the other things.
What about the human part?
It's also having.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the human logic.
Carry on.
The human logic, that's what, okay, what is artificial intelligence? It's basically human logic. So they are trying to bring the human logic in the level of code, and they're trying to code it out. So like we see, you're talking about the operations, or you're talking about, artificial driving, and that's everything. That's logic, that you see a car coming from the right, and then the car will, pause, or it will move to the left. That's all, human decision making that you're saying, that's moving into artificial intelligence. So again, about validation, I think with the blockchain that is absolutely solved. So that will be. I'll just say one more thing because we don't have much time. I think that, ma'am, if you remember back in time in the 70s or 60s, 1 MB was equivalent to 1 MB was a bus size. Okay, and at that time nobody will say it is feasible. Okay, to have this kind of technology, so much of energy consumption, so much of size, space, we can never make this happen. But today, when we look at that time, we made it through, and in fact, it became such a big thing that we are using it for today's call. I mean, for everything, every aspect of our life. And we're saying that this will ultimately be, replace the paper, replace everything, replace us from working.
The training is very important. Actually, previously I have gone through this cybersecurity, my course. For that, I was searching. So there is also training for the employees to detect that this email is spam. Do not to click on that. Yeah. And then there's there is a training they give, like they send the emails, random emails to the employees some time of the day, and just check whether they click it or not. So the training is very important for that.
Yeah, I agree with that. Training is something that was lacking as well for many people. In the academia session as well, there were so many faculties who lost their job because they were not finding it easy to handle with the systems. They were saying that we cannot do this, we need IT. No one is going to help me out with this one. Faculties were also losing job because they didn't have any interactions when they were doing classes online. They were just reading out with the slides. Do you think that is going to be a useful one for you? No, yeah? You have to be making interactive sessions. You have to make sure that your students talk. Unfortunately, our classes on Friday, you guys all will be on your bed, not putting your camera on. I don't know what you guys do most of the time. And I said, put your camera on, put your camera on.
No, ma'am, I'll tell you something in our class. With due respect to all the students, I feel that everybody interacts, at least in our program. There isn't anybody, I think at a ratio of 1:10, at least 8 of us are on camera, and everybody. It's been a very interactive class for almost all the sessions that I possibly have had.
Yes.
And what is most useful, what I found, or rather garnered, was the fact that each and every student had something to tell, and I was listening. And there are aspects that I do not know about things, and I'm actually even learning from the students, apart from the teachers as well. So this has been quite an eye-opener for me as well, in terms of branching in certain areas when I'm even doing the course. It's been
actually
very
the main concept as well to having this case study discussion, because we really wanted to get insight from your end, not just from the faculty point of view. For me, I'll be like a kind of a chairperson, will be handling things, but you guys are giving information. For me, I was not aware about certain concepts that you even told me about now. Pamin and Sadek gave me some ideas which is completely out of my box. I never thought about it. So I've taken notes thinking when I go home, this is something I have to Google it out and find out, okay, what's the extra information on it? Because I can pass it on to the next level of students. You can do the same thing to the next level of your friends or your workplace. You can try out the same things as well. This is also something that we are doing. So,
hello.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, hi. Yeah, till what time you will be there?
It's until 7 we are doing. We are about to wind it off.
Ma'am, I will, if I'm allowed, I will add a last thing, because we were saying many times about that government take the initiative, government take the initiative. It's never the government taking initiative. It's always the NGOs or the general people who feel that there is, or who can see, or who can foresee these kind of things. And in reality, because government really don't care about it, they just care about the business and increasing their globalization footprint, I would say, making their global presence everywhere and thinking of making their economy better and better. They're really not worried about this global warming or less or whatever, because they always like, okay, you can plant trees all the time, but they don't realize that a tree to mature takes 20-30 years for it to be ready to process it. So I think so it's individual initiative that would eventually force the government to put these into practice, and thereon we will be in a better world. They always, I think, ma'am, about they call it euphoria. It's the best place to be. Like everything is perfect over there. So to be in that best place, to be in the perfect place, it's each one of us to do the right thing.
Yeah.
True.
Doctor, may I ask something?
Yes, dear.
Do you think in coming future you are able to do a surgery by machine?
We currently do have robotic surgeries. We do currently do robotic surgery.
But under supervision of doctors, right?
Under supervision of doctors, yes. It's not definitely going to be, okay, you do the machine, you do the surgery, and we'll set out. No, definitely not.
All what we discuss is positive part, but still we are avoiding the human part. That people, they are going to lose their job. People, they are not able to come into this level to pick up the subject in a quick way.
Yeah.
Also, we have to think there is some people, they are an age of 50 or 60 or maybe above. They are not able to take, they don't have that IT technology to come into this level and this much, I sorry to call it, in a crazy speed way.
Correct.
Life is changing, it's too fast. Sometimes still I'm in middle age, but sometimes I feel, yes, I'm still at
backward.
I'm trying, but still, I mean, everything what we say is good, but human part for me as a person is more important than all the saving.
Yeah. Sometimes we can't cope up with the new technology, so we think that we are lacking behind.
Yeah.
We all forgot one point
that's also the
about
time
the
for us to
letters.
get updated as well.
We don't write letters anymore. Very important.
See, we are updating as the time passed. it's not like nobody is, you have to swim. Other, if you are in the middle of the sea, you have to swim to reach to, the shore. Otherwise, you will be drowned. So there is a personal effort is required in somehow, in some manner. So once you start doing it, I think there is nothing you can't achieve it, because the guys who are achieved.
I'm not talking about me as a person. I'm talking about people who still, they are our colleague involved. They are in our environment. They are 40 or 50 or 60.
But there is a one word called motivation. You have to motivate the person to do it. So if we tell them that you can't do it, khalas, it's the story is over. So we are just we are in a so much hurry right nowadays that we want to close the chapter as soon as possible. But we are not giving a time to other person to evolve the things. You have to. So I will just tell you one example. Let's say if there's a storm in the sea, what the ships will do? They will run into the storm. No, they will run into the storm straight away.
Let me just explain to you. I disagree on this example, because we are not pushing this subject. A big company such as a Microsoft, other company, they are promoting this subject. They are put you in the storm.
But those companies, they have a different strategy, boss. They are on the top level. What we are talking is the middle to a low end.
Even if I am underground, with all respect to you, even if I am underground, if something I not believe in it, I will not follow the top level as you mentioned.
But because there are people who will not agree with that. I do completely agree with that because even for the universities, there are so many parents who said that we will take a gap year. We don't want our students to do it online. They still want to go on site and learn.
Even in the school,
so many parents have done that.
Even in the school, there's so many parents that left their kid at home so that they can
we don't want to do it online. Many people said that we cannot afford to do it. Many students say that. Many parents said that we don't find it quite systematic way of doing with it.
Yeah, I think the discipline is the key, ma'am.
Excess use of the things definitely have a worse effect.
Yeah,
so because your children will sit 4 and 6 hours in front of the laptop.
Yeah, this is the key, because they are watching the screen. They are watching the screen, which is gonna be, again, their eyesight will be affected, and then the kids are not able to concentrate.
True.
The kids is not a it's not a developed into a stage where he can concentrate. He can work on a long 6 hours, 8 hours a day on the screen and give you a feedback.
So the discipline is also not there, and human interaction is also not there. That is one thing. Second thing is there is a speech deficiency as well. Correct. Because we do not have they don't interact. Basically, they are hearing. There is very minimal conversations that go on. So when you're quiet and all that stuff, you're not able to hear what the other person is trying to say, because they've completely lost their base.
Yeah,
and that's most important.
Same thing.
The other thing that I would like to add was that when he was talking about throwing yourself into the sea without knowledge, we have had a situation where all of a sudden overnight people were told to leave the job. Okay, that this happened overnight. Okay, some were left in a dilemma or whatever, but the ones who are able to remain there, I took a back, I went and started to reflect as to what do I go from here? Where do I go from here? Okay. One aspect of things was I realized that you need to have a creativity. Okay.
Correct.
Creative line, as well as you require to have a educational this. So I started working on both of them simultaneously, so that in future that I have something to look forward for, or get into the market. So it is basically survival of the fittest. If you're thrown in the water, you have no choice. Either you sink or you swim. There is no two ways about it. So this is where the fighter aspect in you comes.
Yeah.
Okay. Either you will swim or you will sink. One of the two. Yeah.
So unfortunately, we have to wind up over here today. Then next time we will also have something interesting topic coming up. I really enjoyed it, to be honest. This is the first case study session we are having.
Me too.
It's in comparison to the lectures ones, I think this has been the most interactive ones that we ever had. So I really appreciate for your interactions and your suggestions, your insights and everything. We'll see sometime next month, most probably, with a new topic coming up. Then we will be also being more technological based. Let's see how it goes.
Doctor, I have
Our
one
pleasure.
wish before we leave. I
Yes,
have one
dear.
wish. Now, out of 24 people
Yeah.
attending this class, I wish none of us is going to lose his job because of the new technology.
Yeah.
Great.
So that
Let's
people
go.
who's defending on this new technology and
Sir,
machinery
no,
and
no, no,
that we are still in the
Noor,
third world, I wish none of
It's
us is going
inevitable. It's
is
inevitable.
going to
It will
replace his
happen.
job
no,
by
we are not.
robots.
I'm not defending the technology. First of all, I'm not defending the technology. I'm trying to promote a person, or I'm trying to tell the person, whoever is lacking in the technology, telling them that boss, come up with the solution. Like,
Yeah.
try to learn. Motivate. I want to motivate them rather than I'm just discouraging them.
I fully respect what you said, but once I come to compare a technology with a human being, still I am on the human being side. Maybe I am wrong,
I am still,
but still what I believe with,
it's-
it's for me like a Quran or Bible.
Let's see. All right. Good night,
It's true.
guys. Be safe,
Right.
and I will see you next time.
Thank you so much,
Same
ma'am.
to
Thank
you,
you so
ma'am.
much.
Thank you
Care.
so much.
Bye.
Good night. Good night.
Bye.